About muscle testing. We've already discussed about self-testing and how you can test yourself, but what is often done in the classroom or whenever you're with a group or more of your adult setting, one-on-one, it's fun to test another person. This test's really accurate and it's just a lot of fun. And plus it's just great. And I happen to get a volunteer here today. I hustled up Daryl Daniel. Yeah. And so he's agreed to try this muscle testing and see what it's all about. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have him, you have no idea what's going on here, so let's have you just stand right in front. We're going to test the body's energy. As you know, we were talking earlier in the workshop, we were talking about how we're all energy, right? And everything's energy, and we were testing all our feel of our energy. Well, now what we're going to do is we're actually going to test, does it really make your body stronger or weaker? What about that? So now, what I'd like for you to do so the audience, so the group can see, if you don't mind, is stand right in front of me. You could stand on the side if you need to, but I find, now if a student, when you're doing this with the classroom, if a student comes up and is anxious to volunteer, like Daryl was today, then it's no problem to have them look out to the audience. But if your audience, if your person or so is like, well, you're not quite sure, you're just wanting to keep them safe, then what we do is I either have them turn, come ahead and just turn around, Daryl, and do that. And so then we'll have, they'll see the same, but they'll see the same results, but they won't have to look at the audience, which can affect them and make them nervous. So that way it will be, I know, so that. Okay. I know you're nervous a little bit, but are you okay with facing the audience, or do you want it this way?
Either way.
Okay.
I'm good either way.
So okay.
Thank goodness.
Well, okay. Let's try it this way.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do it first this way. So what you'll do, well, I'm thinking for the class, let's have them so they learn, so they can see what it's like. Because you want to tell the person to look ahead, and you ask them their name, and what, so what is your name? I know you told me other. Daryl Daniel. Okay. So what we're going to test is that really his name, or is he lying? So I'm going to have him actually raise up his right arm, because this is his dominant arm. And you notice I'm going to use just a couple fingers here. This finger's down. You're in a relaxed state. Just relax. And first of all, I just say yes. Yes. Yes, and resist me. Yes. Okay, so that's his yes. Now I want you to say no.
No.
No. Well, that one really went down. Were you even trying? Okay. Okay. So your no is weak. Now what I'd like for you to do is, now let's play with this. And this is what you would do with your students or with your clients, is have them say, my name is, and then your real true name.
Is Daryl Daniel.
Okay, and resist. Nice and strong. And I'm even pushing, he loves his name. My and yes, yeah. Now what I want you to say is, my name is Tom Cruise.
My name is Tom Cruise.
So see, like, when your name, you could come up with any other name. My name is
Dallas.
Yeah, see, it would go down. So if it's not your truth, see, you're weak. Now, what's really fun you got to do, and this is so fun with the kids, is that so your body can tell. I forgot to tell you, it tells if you lie. So make sure your parents don't learn this and find out, hey, did you do your homework? Let me test you.
No.
So now, Daryl, let's take this, though. Earlier we were talking about how our thoughts, all our many, many thoughts we were having, and the energy, that things we say and the things we think have energy. So what I'd like to do is, now that time you lied or told the truth. Now this time, let's go ahead and have you test. What I'd like for you to do is just, let's just think of a time maybe. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Let's just say, can you think of a time that you were like really bummed, that you were like maybe disappointed with yourself, the business wasn't, I know you're in business, the things were not as good. Okay, something that was disappointing for you as yourself. You were mad at yourself. You know, our little voice says, man, I shouldn't have done that, right? Okay, and I'm going to resist, and yeah, and you're really, really trying. You were pushing hard, and I didn't even have to push very hard. Okay, so what I do, if you notice, so he didn't have to say a thing, but his thoughts were. Now, I want you to notice something that I did, because this is for a class. You notice how I swept my arm across his face? I did that to help clear that space, because, and as I say with the classroom, I say, boy, we don't want to keep that energy. Let's clear that energy. So I just do it without it being anything. But that is to clear that negative energy that is being held there. It also implies a positive. It actually creates sweeping the energy up, and we'll talk more about the body energy on another time. But it sweeps the energy up. So now he's pretty much not going to have that whole negative juju that he just had where he tested so weak. So now he's fresh. We're going to have him now with the thought. I want you to just think, you don't have to tell everybody, but just think of a time you were really proud of yourself. A time that you knew you did really well, and it was good. It didn't take you very long. Whoa! And it went right up. So your arm, resist me.
It's not gonna
go. It's not going to go.
You can put your weight on it right now.
Okay, very good. Now so now, you were being so silly. And sometimes you'll get a volunteer that will really like to play with you like this. And when you get a student, most of the time they're like students in your classroom, they'll be anxious to get down from the stage, but they think it's kind of cool too. And so with that, you can see, though, all I did, you have them bring up their arm, you gently go across. Now, this is another way. Let's relax. Let's clear our space here for a moment, Daryl. And since you're being such a good volunteer,
Thank you.
and sideways works really well also. And then you use the other arm so that they can so they can bring the arm up. And then their weaker one, and I'm going to have them I want you to say something that is let's say, something that you were disappointed. I'm so disappointed with myself. That was so stupid.
I'm so disappointed in myself on all kinds of different over the weekend.
It doesn't take, just thinking it and talking about it got him weaker.
Oh my
You remember
gosh,
how we talked about that with the body, how your whole language goes out? Now, so whenever I do this, I always like to say, well, we don't want to keep that energy going, so I do the sweep up. Now we'll say, well, let's do a positive. We don't have to do just the one.
Yes.
So now I want you to think of a time. Tell me a time. Say, I'm so proud of myself. I love that sailing.
Oh, I love that sailing. Maui no Ko'oi. You could, if I say Maui no Ko'oi, you couldn't put your weight on it.
So
you can put your weight on it, and you can put all your weight on it, and it's gonna find a way.
So not all your clients will be so excited about this, but let me tell you. So I hope that helped you with your test, because what you'll do is very simple, and it's literally you're testing first for them to have a yes, no, or for the students for a shorter time, because you're literally only there for 20, 30 minutes time in their classroom, is that you'll just go right immediately. So tell me your name. And so instead of like telling the class or the assembly, you say, tell me your true name, and they say my name and guide them along. And then tell them, usually you suggest a name, something that you know that would be off the wall, and then they will test weak. And they could even come up with an alternative name, their own self, especially adults. And then as the thoughts, you have them think of a time where they felt proud of themselves, especially if they're a student. And if they're an adult, you have them think of a time where they felt good, a good memory, something that they remembered that was really good, that they felt good about themselves. And then in the end, and then you have it with that. So I'm going to let that go, let you play with that. Thank you for being such a good volunteer today. And play with that, practice that, and I hope that helps you. Till next time.
All right.